Hello everyone, welcome to City Talk. I'm Thermice Bevelle. Giving meters are in downtown and midtown to reduce panhandling. The meters may make it easier for those who want to help. As you move about your busy day in and around Atlanta, you may notice these brightly colored meters on street corners.
I'm Wilma Southern. I'm the Vice President of Marketing for Central Atlanta Progress. What I'm standing next to is a refurbished giving meter.
They may look like parking meters, but the money is for something else.
It was established in 2008 as a way to discourage aggressive panhandling throughout the downtown area.
Central Atlanta Progress partnered with the city and Park Atlanta to encourage people to give spare change that matters.
The meter serves as a place where people can donate their spare change instead of giving handouts on the street.
There are 15 fire engine red giving meters throughout the city.
We're encouraging patrons to put money in the meter, and the money that is raised through the meter program goes to support our licensed homeless service providers in the city of Atlanta.
Hello. Hey.
Vince Smith is the executive director of the Gateway Center, one of the agencies that could benefit from the spare change.
The Gateway Center is one of the largest homeless service centers in the Southeast, and we work with homeless men, women, and children to help them get out of homelessness.
100% of the money collected from the meters is given to agencies like Gateway. And while the money raised may be low, Smith says the chance of someone becoming more aware of homeless issues is high.
Giving meters is one way, and those bright fire engine red meters draw attention to themselves, and it helps an individual to say, you know, I'm not sure that I want to give 2 quarters to someone on the street, but I have a caring heart, and I am concerned. I pop 2 quarters into that giving meter, and then the business community that gives oversight to those will disperse those funds to service providers in this community.
Central Atlanta Progress officials hope the new look will encourage more meaningful giving. Atlanta gets more time to finish sewer overhaul. Under a federal order, the city faced a 2014 deadline to complete construction projects to stop sewage spills. A federal judge gave the city an additional 13 years to finish those improvements. The extension allows Atlanta additional time to complete necessary repairs while also keeping water and sewer rates flat. Now the city has until 2027 to fully upgrade its water and sewer system. For those who watch NBC's Meet the Press, you know Mayor Kasim Reed is considered one of the Democrats' go-to people on national issues. In fact, the mayor is the 6th most influential African American in the country, according to The Root. The online news magazine says Reed's leadership on local issues like public services and city finances makes him one of the country's top black leaders. The ranking is based on a formula that combines media mentions with a person's contributions to the community. In 2011, The Root ranked Mayor Reed at number 10. In 2012 alone, the mayor has appeared on Meet the Press 4 times. Metro Atlanta has added more jobs to its menu, and the Crystal restaurant chain is serving them up. The company will make Atlanta its new home in 2013 when the corporate offices move from Chattanooga to the North Perimeter area. CEO Doug Pendergast says Atlanta has all the right things his company needs to continue growing. The move will bring even more jobs to Metro Atlanta when the franchise opens its restaurant and sports center at the new headquarters. Atlanta's airport was a deciding factor in the relocation. The CEO says they can reach all of their markets with a direct flight out of Atlanta, getting there faster and more efficiently. Crystal has over 6,000 employees and 380 restaurants, all in southern states. With 60 stores already in Atlanta, Crystal has more restaurants in Georgia than in the other 11 states the company serves. The burger chain is on track to open at least 150 new stores in the next 5 years. The Atlanta Hawks give $50,000 to the Year of Boulevard. The Hawks Foundation will renovate all 4 basketball courts at Central Park in the Old Fourth Ward. They will paint the courts, put in new rims and backboards, and put the Hawks logo on the courts. According to Parks and Rec, Central Park is the 3rd busiest in the city, with more than 500 kids involved in recreation programs. It is also a popular spot for pickup games.
The young people here will finally have a brand new renovation. It's been over 10 years since this has been renovated. Some of the goals don't even work. So we're just excited to see what's possible when you reach out and ask for help in our city.
This is the largest donation so far for Yo Boulevard. Fort McPherson holds an open house for residents and stakeholders. Councilwoman Joyce Shepherd was there for the tour and several of the presentations, which provided information on a timeline for negotiations and property transfer. The City of Atlanta would like to redevelop the 488 acres to create jobs and promote economic development. The Veterans Administration is renovating the existing clinic and adjacent buildings for a new VA clinic scheduled to open in the spring of 2013.
So this is truly a collaboration in terms of City of East Point and the City of Atlanta in terms of the redevelopment of Fort McPherson and letting the community residents know, have no fear, that the City of Atlanta is truly on point in making sure that Fort McPherson will be redeveloped.
In 2005, Fort Mac was impacted when the Department of Defense recommended realigning and closing several military installations throughout the United States. The newly opened Jackson International Terminal receives the Award of Excellence from the Urban Land Institute. The terminal is honored for its design and effective land use. The terminal tied with Global Gateway and College Park for the prestigious award. Firefighters at Hartsfield-Jackson always have to be on top of their game in case of an emergency at the world's busiest airport. That's why each of the airport's 5 fire stations must undergo emergency training once a year to keep their certification. This group underwent the training recently. All of the airport's 5 stations are fully staffed and equipped to handle any possible emergency.
What we have here is strategically located stations that can arrive at their midpoint runway areas for the aircraft rescue firefighting vehicles within 3 minutes.
There are about 260 firefighters at the airport who are required to undergo 300 hours of training every year. The spotlight is on Atlanta as the International Air Cargo Forum returns to the city where it was born. The forum brings air cargo leaders together to discuss current trends and challenges and how best to manage the industry. Mayor Reed used the occasion to announce Air Cargo Germany's move into the Atlanta region, which he says will boost our local economy.
But when you have robust air cargo operations, the folks that do those jobs often live in the communities that are near and around the airport. So they help to build a thriving and vibrant economy with a nice array of jobs that are accessible to many of our citizens.
Reed also told the crowd that Hartsfield-Jackson will soon add a 100,000 square foot cargo facility to meet the needs of the airport's growing air cargo carriers. A group of Emory students watched the presidential debate. These students were at the Dobbs University Center to watch the first debate between President Barack Obama and Republican challenger Mitt Romney. Many students take part because they hope to understand a candidate's position on important issues a little better.
Neither side really has clarified what exactly they're advocating. So I think tonight, when they'll be forced to answer questions about what their policy proposals are, that'll allow some clarification.
Domestically and with regard to foreign policy, we're at a crucial stage in our country's history, and we need to ensure that we elect the right politician who will be able to solve some of our nation's current problems.
Debate Watch is hosted by Emory's Barclay Forum debate team and several student groups. The city sets the goal to end homelessness for Atlanta's veterans.
Y'all ready to walk? Where's Team Atlanta at?
Team Atlanta. City employees step out with the American Diabetes Association to help find a cure. And Cohen Middle School holds its student elections. Stay with us. District 12 has a not-so-secret weapon in its efforts to improve the community. A councilwoman on a mission for Joyce Shepherd is all about making things better, improving the environment, cleaning up neighborhoods, and improving Atlanta's air. From dealing with illegally dumped tires to getting owners to be responsible for vacant properties to pushing for a ban on smoking in city parks.
When I go to a park, I don't want to be involved with folks smoking in parks. I don't want to see our kids involved with that.
The demolition of the old Lakewood Courts apartment complex was a victory. Shepherd is busy throughout District 12 with town hall meetings, activities for seniors, and supporting the fight against diabetes. the mission continues. Councilwoman Shepherd is with us in the studio today. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Registration of vacant properties. Once a residential property has been vacant for 30 days, owners of that property must register their contact information with the City of Atlanta. Why was this registry put in place?
With property registration, a lot of cities are using this as a tool to really be more accountable and enforce people who have vacant property. So our focus is on the City of Atlanta, it's vacant property registration. So with that, what happens is if you have a vacant piece of property that has been vacant for over 60 days, you must register that property. The goal of that is to hold you accountable also, and for the city to have a way of actually tracking folks down who own property. One of the issues we had before this legislation was that people who own property, they could have been in New York, California, anywhere, and the challenge with the city employees was to find these folks. So this law was said to you is that if you own a vacant piece of property, if it's been vacant for over 60 days, you must register it with the City of Atlanta. And that registration requires that you have someone here in the City of Atlanta who's accountable for that property.
Higher tax rates on blighted property, that's one of the things you're working on now. Why do you feel this is necessary?
With blight tax, it says that you have the right, if a property is blighted, that we can tax them at a higher rate than what typically everybody else is being taxed at. So this is something that the state implemented 2 or 3 years ago, and there are several cities throughout the state who are using this. And so I introduced legislation. We're in the process of doing a study on it as we speak. We actually went to Griffin, Georgia last month to talk to them. Griffin, Georgia is one of the cities that actually have implemented this blight tax for the last 2 years. So we actually did a tour of Griffin, Georgia to understand how this works. And I'm in the process of doing a work session on blight tax and actually meeting with the mayor's office and all the folks involved, the law department, the finance department, to see if we can roll out this blight tax specifically in the City of Atlanta.
The Tire Commission was established to see how the city can better manage illegally dumped tires. Tell us a little bit about that.
Now this is one of my babies that I'm really working on really hard. I pulled together a tire commission. On that tire commission we have the EPD, which actually regulates tires, the generating of tires and everything that happens with tires from a state perspective. So they're on this commission. We have the health department, Fulton County Health Department on this commission, because of course we know that if tires are out there all over the place, that of course with West Nile virus, if there's water, if it's raining, this is a health issue, and the breeding of mosquitoes in tires. So the Fulton County Health Department is involved with that. Public Works, because every day with the City of Atlanta in terms of Public Works, they're out there in the streets and seeing where all the tires are being dumped and trying to figure out what they can do to get rid of these tires. And by the way, the City of Atlanta in terms of Public Works and our garbage department, we don't pick up tires. That's not a part of what's required for us by law. This is something that we really are trying to deal with on the state level, but we're not allowed to pick up tires. So Public Works, however, has to do with the challenge of all these tires that are out there on the street and figuring out what we have to do with them. And a lot of times we have to come up with money that we don't have just to get rid of these tires. So Public Works Department is involved. We have Green Law with the university, Georgia State University, who's actively involved in terms of looking at this also. So dealing with that. We have code enforcement involved, and of course our last person is the Atlanta Police Department. The Atlanta Police Department has been actively involved with this because they also, as a part of the COPS program, have actually designated 3 or 4 cops to do nothing but look at the illegal dumping of tires. So through that process, they've actually come to us and said we need tougher laws in terms of the dumping of tires. And you also know, as a part of our restructuring of the Atlanta Police Department, the code enforcement and blight is actually all up under the Atlanta Police Department. And the reason for that is because we determined that everywhere that there's blight, typically what follows is public safety issues. So the Atlanta Police Department has made it their issue, and their thing that they're going to do is to really fight blight along with crime in the City of Atlanta.
Councilwoman Shepherd, thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
Fighting childhood obesity. Councilman Watson teams up with a local group to walk it off. Children across America lace up for Walk to School Day. And the Cartoon Network celebrates its 20th birthday with a party in Midtown. Back in a moment. A new initiative by Mayor Reed sets a goal of ending homelessness for Atlanta's veterans by 2013. CityTalk's Troy Danicus shows you how it's changing the lives of those who have served our country.
The simple fact is that no veteran in the United States of America should be without a home.
I've always been proud to be a veteran, but that pride level has risen. It just feels really good to stand here before you folks today and say that one day I was down and now I'm up.
A new partnership between the City of Atlanta, the Department of Veterans Affairs, and other groups is aiming to end chronic homelessness among veterans by the end of 2013. The downward spiral into homelessness for Michael Couch began several years ago after he was laid off.
After that happened, I went through a nasty divorce and I became homeless because of some bad choices.
Michael sought help from the VA, and through them, he was able to get back on his feet and into a stable home.
I've just been amazed at how many good things has happened as long as I keep taking the right steps. And I'm very proud to be in Atlanta.
The city's recent work puts it on course to meet the Obama administration's goal of ending veteran homelessness by 2015. Atlanta beat out 14 other cities in a nationwide challenge to shelter 100 homeless veterans in 100 days. In fact, the city exceeded that goal by 31 veterans.
We can end veteran homelessness if we treat it like a solvable problem. I think too often we look around and we're overwhelmed and we assume that there's nothing we can do, but we know now that that's not true.
Former Marine Barrett Griffin was living on the streets in New Jersey before his sister brought him to Georgia. He received help from the VA, and today he's giving Mayor Reed a tour of his new home.
There's help out there for us, and we deserve it, and we should come and get the help that we need.
And when we're done with our work, we literally would have done the right thing morally as a community, but we will also have strengthened our community by having these extraordinary men and women become a permanent part of it.
For CityTalk, I'm Troy Danicus.
Atlanta has about 1,200 homeless vets. Over 400 of them are classified as chronically homeless. The city's innovation delivery team takes the lead on meeting the mayor's goal of ending homelessness through his Unsheltered No More initiative. Councilwoman Felicia Moore is guest speaker at the Salvation Army's Dress for Success. The event is a runway walk in which women wear business attire that was donated to help them re-enter the workforce. The Salvation Army says the wardrobe program helps thousands of women all across the country regain financial independence and improve their quality of life. A residential recycling program is ready for a citywide expansion. Mayor Reed joined Sustainability Director Denise Quarles to announce the aggressive expansion of the program. The city will deliver these 96-gallon recycling carts to 66,000 homes. The new carts will replace the 18-gallon bins, allowing residents to collect more.
Our long-term goal is simple: to divert 90% of our waste from landfills, and recycling is a huge part of that effort. And while today's event is about residential recycling, city operations, businesses, and institutions alike will all have to chip in order for us to move our agenda forward.
If the expansion is successful, it could save the city over $2.5 million a year. The City of Atlanta joins the fight against diabetes. City employees stepped out with the American Diabetes Association for its annual awareness walk. With council members Michael Bond and Joyce Shepard leading the way, Team Atlanta walked to help find a cure for the millions of Americans who live with the disease.
I'm here because my grandmother died of diabetes, and I'm here to support her. People need to know about it, people need to be educated, and I also feel like it's walking for a cause, working for a purpose.
All of these forms of diabetes, the symptoms can be reversible. If you get out and walk, exercise, you can, if you've got some symptoms starting, you can reverse those symptoms of diabetes.
Councilman Bond, who was diagnosed with diabetes in 1999, says it's great to see the community come together. Let's walk it off. Councilman Aaron Watson walked it off to help fight childhood obesity. It's an annual event to put communities in motion. Organizers say identifying the risk factors, showing Atlantans healthy lifestyle choices, and providing care, treatment, and education are some of the ways to get a handle on this growing problem.
There's nothing really more important in our community than trying to fight obesity and hypertension and all the diseases associated with being overweight. So we're just out trying to keep people moving, live smarter and live better.
The group says when children participate in outdoor activities, they are encouraged to be active, stay healthy, and build social relationships. Drew Charter School celebrates Walk to School Day. Eastlake school children walked as part of an international drive towards fitness and strengthening community ties. Councilwoman Natalie Archibong joined students, parents, and teachers for the walk to help identify areas along the route that need improvements to student safety. The annual walk is part of the Safe Routes to School program. Congratulations to the new Cohen Middle School student government officers. The Student Government Association is the official body of the development, promotion, and administration of student affairs. Councilwoman Archibong was the guest speaker for the student elections. She talked about the importance of voting and community service.
This is a wonderful reinforcement for these students of the importance of staying engaged and involved and becoming leaders themselves so that the community that they grow up in is the kind of community that they would like to have.
The school says all of the candidates did a great job campaigning. The Eastlake Easygoers celebrate 25 years. Councilwoman Archibong was on hand as the club celebrated its silver anniversary. A group of concerned senior citizens in the Eastlake community started the club in 1987 to cultivate friendships through social gatherings, outings, and luncheons. The Eastlake Easygoers is one of 14 registered Golden Age clubs in the city of Atlanta. The Atlanta Police Foundation thanks APD for its work during its Crime is Toast breakfast. The yearly event gives the group a chance to thank members of the police department for their service and commitment to the community. The breakfast also gives APD leaders a chance to thank the foundation for its support of the department. The Atlanta Police Foundation helped fund Operation Shield, the city's integrative security camera network.
This force multiplier gives us the ability to increase the eyes and the ears on the ground at critical locations, including downtown, midtown, and Buckhead.
The foundation is also working with APD to increase recruitment of police officers and decrease attrition by offering incentives including tuition and housing assistance. Councilwoman Joyce Shepard and Atlanta Fire Rescue team up for a car seat checkup and community fair. Atlanta residents learned the correct way to install child safety seats and received healthcare screenings from local healthcare providers. This is an annual event to provide the community with safety information that impacts our daily lives. For instant access to Atlanta City government, go to our website, atlantagA.gov, where you'll find a number of helpful ways to connect with us. And if you're trying to reach us, you can always email us, send your questions or comments to citytalk@atlantagA.gov. Grill Masters face off at Atlantic Station, and Al Jarreau gives area kids a lesson in jazz. Next. A state-run program helps at-risk students by offering work experience, and one of their work sites is here at City Hall. The Great Promise Partnership is a program founded by the Georgia Department of Community. It takes students who are not doing so well in high school and gives them work experience at various places across the state.
So I would tell you to find your special something. While you're here working in the city, while you're going through your high school career, find your special something. Whatever it is, because average is not going to be good enough if you're going to make it to the levels that each of you have talked about or have described that you want to make it to.
The city has 4 students in the program. Morehouse College is known for educating future leaders of America, and now the school is teaching those students about another dominant culture in the global community. The school recently held a Chinese Moon Festival to promote its Chinese Studies program. Students learned about the program, sampled some Chinese tea and foods, and even tried their hands at Chinese paper art.
China has become more and more important at the international stage, so we want to prepare our men of Morehouse to compete at a international stage.
Yang founded the Chinese Studies program at Morehouse in 2008. It is one of only a few programs in the U.S. that offer an advanced Chinese language curriculum. Barbecue enthusiasts are proud of how they prepare smoked and grilled cuts of meat. The Atlanta Barbecue Festival at Atlantic Station gave them a chance to go head-to-head against other grillers and smokers. Cooks from all over the South converged in Midtown to compete for the best barbecue. Wade McSwain from Atlanta's Pit Boss Barbecue says the festival gives them a chance to show barbecue lovers what sets them apart from the other restaurants.
We use fresh meats with a dry rub. We make our own sauce.
We make our own sides, all fresh meats, dry rubbed, is marinated.
The winner of this year's Best Booth category was Tough Dog Grillers. Mayor Reed pays a visit to the Cartoon Network to celebrate its 20th birthday. Turner Broadcasting launched the station in 1992. The Cartoon Network started out in those early years rebroadcasting cartoon favorites like Looney Tunes. They quickly created their own shows and helped other animators find a home at the station. Cartoon Network's late night programming features cartoons aimed at older audiences.
Today, Cartoon Network is a global brand. In over 360 million homes, in over 170 countries, and it has been that maverick, whimsical, irreverent spirit that has helped make us the success we are today.
Cartoon Network was the first to broadcast cartoons 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Jazz radio station 91.9 wants younger generations to appreciate one of America's original art forms. The station has Jazz in the Classroom, which promotes dialogue between students and jazz experts. We caught up with legend Al Jarreau as he spoke to students at the Cobb Energy Center. They were front and center as Jarreau spoke about the art form, how he was introduced to it, and the importance jazz played on the international level.
Some of our first ambassadors were jazz musicians who went to other countries and explained the story of America. And they found out a lot more about America because of people who played jazz and traveled the world.
91.9's Jazz in the Classroom series also gives students a behind-the-scenes look at what it takes to prepare for a concert. These students stuck around for a sound check as Jarreau got ready for the show. An unlikely partnership between the Department of Corrections, the Mayor's Office of Sustainability, and a local school will help harvest rainwater. The Viper team helped Bethune Elementary students paint 6 barrels that will collect rain. In all, 22 barrels will be painted by the team, which will have a variety of uses at the school.
The principal, Ms. Petway, is talking about having a garden here. They'll be able to take the rainwater, recycle it, use it for the planting of different gardens.
The barrels were all donated by the U.S. Green Building Council of Georgia and Coca-Cola. Music lovers turn out at Piedmont Park for Music Midtown. This is the festival's second year in the park after making its return to the music scene last year. The festival went on hiatus in 2005 due to a sluggish economy. Music Midtown spanned over 2 days with fans coming out to see acts like Atlanta native Ludacris, Foo Fighters, and Pearl Jam. The City of Atlanta has online services available to make doing business with the city a little easier. On our website, you can pay water bills, municipal court citations, parking tickets, and apply for permits. Atlanta's list of online services will continue to grow as the city strives to identify more opportunities to provide access to government services via the internet. For a full list of online services, visit our website at atlantagA.gov. Thank you for watching City Talk. I'm Thermice Bevelle.